Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. So, I've been playing quite a bit off screen to try and get a lot of the duels done. They are adding things left and right, which is good because frankly this game is a little bare bones, but there's going to be a whole maintenance period and I am hoping that we see kind of a decent amount of improvement in the maintenance, although frankly the maintenance notice is saying actually it's going to get rid of rooms and match history, which actually temporary getting rid of match history, I don't think too many people are going to complain about getting rid of rooms. They should come back in some later point, but when you get to just the default I want to play but I don't want to play ranked issue, it's kind of crazy to have to create your own room first. We can see that there's a new issue here where life points may not be displayed correctly. Like, they really just threw this out here without beta testing it enough. And then they've updated here another issue. As far as known issues, the game is unplayable with the card selection list with controllers. Like, so all kinds of issues certainly. And it's a new day for me, so I can log in, and that completes login for 7 days in a row, which I assume that's going to reset. Otherwise, that's going to be a nightmare. And then I have 5 days to log in 7 times, and that's just not going to happen. So, best case scenario, I'll get up to this point, but not this point. And new standard things. As far as dueling in solo mode has gotten some of these daily quests to give you little amounts, but honestly, if you exclude the login stuff, you're not getting 100 gems a day, so you couldn't even open a single pack a day, let alone the ideal 10 packs that you would want to open. The rest of these are all around playing ranked or spectating Duel Live, which I still don't understand the focus on spectating Duel Live or why that is even a high priority. It would have made a lot of sense, certainly, to not have Duel Live at launch versus missing a lot of other things. So yeah, I'm just kind of hoarding the gold now. This is probably at 4,000 gems just barely enough to like get one new expansion. Like, if this came out, if in like 56 days this got replaced with something new, and I really wanted the card specifically in this pack, then I would potentially open 40 packs of this and hope to get most of the cards from that. Arguably at this point there's no reason to buy this pack. There might be a reason to buy this pack, and frankly I kind of need to at least double this, because remember, you also have these bundle deals, which I assume these bundle deals, maybe they'll never go away, but maybe in a couple months we'll see some more of these. I can't help but assume that eventually we're going to have a scroll bar and a whole bunch of stuff. When you look at the layout here, there's really no reason why the Duel Pass and the bundle deals aren't on the same screen. There's really not a good reason why there isn't an all button that's by default clicked here, or all unpurchased, and then this on top of this on top of this on top of this would be all at the same screen. Here they don't even bother to have any subcategories, which then negates the necessity for the search to be there. Um, secret packs, we have no secret packs. We're back to 0. And then legendary packs, I'm just going to sit on those forever until we're there. So let me not stall any further, and let's show the solo. So I have been just completely banging my head against many of these decks. And either I am playing the deck here that is now been modified to really try and summon Exodia. So I've gotten rid of every single spell except for this Veil of Darkness. So if I start the game and have Veil of Darkness, I can pretty much summon Exodia. It's going to take a long time. This Exodius, the ultimate forbidden one, is a backup option to that, but it's kind of a bad backup option because you can special summon this guy good, and then every time he attacks, he'll drop another one of these Exodia Forbidden One cards into the graveyard, increasing his attack by 1,000. And once he personally, his effect has put all 5 of the Forbidden One cards, including this one, into the graveyard, then you win the game, but the odds of that happening are pretty low. There might be some synergy sometimes with this Exodia card that returns Forbidden One cards from the graveyard, so you could special summon this one fairly quickly to attack, then special summon this to return cards. This one also has 1,000 attack for every Forbidden One card in the graveyard. Whereas everything else doesn't really even matter. Like, I'm trying to put good dark cards in the deck, but it doesn't really matter. They really are just junk cards. Cyberstein you can use, but it's extremely dangerous. And most of the time I lose with this deck, even trying to summon Exodia. Although I have excuse me, I have done it. I've also succeeded somewhat with just playing this one structured deck, but I've pretty much resolved myself to realizing that while you want to get these structured decks because you get the cards, none of them are actually winners. They're just not really playable, even against solo, let alone against the ranked people. Now, I believe one of these I still don't have enough to unlock the gate. And in this case, with the Megalith, I didn't even win with the Loner, so we may jump back and try that. Let's see, which one of these is the one that I still don't have that secondary resource. Yeah. I am 50 short of the fire, and there's really... It'd be very weird if it turns out that I would always be 50 short of the fire, but there is something weird going on here, because I have 850 dark, and there's no way I'm going to run into 3 dark gates in the remaining 3 expansions. So I don't know if this is just not balanced that well, or if they give just random rewards and then think things through. That would be really crazy. But let's just look at this next one. The Steam Dinosaurs of Uncharted Lands. I guess we haven't done a lot of dinosaurs, but this definitely does not look so much like a dinosaur as it looks like a robot in dinosaur form, something a la the Zoids anime. I think it's called Zoids, that really never came to the West. But yeah, there's a pretty popular anime of robots, Zoids, that merged together, look like dinosaurs. they sold a lot of toys and what are called model kits where you have to put things together piece by piece. I actually was given one of the model kits that somehow just made its way to like a hobby shop in the West and didn't even know what it was, or that it was based on an anime. Didn't even know what anime was when I was given this as a kid, and put it together, and it was pretty fancy, and it had a motor in it and would walk. Although in all fairness, it even trying to take a step forward or back probably broke off some parts. Model kits are fairly difficult and not my thing. I heavily would recommend the consistency and quality that you get with Lego and trading off for having less custom pieces by having to build everything a little bit blocky in Lego, plus the potential resale value or gifting value of Lego over a model kit, where even in Japan, if you're a perfect model kit designer, you're going to put the model kit together. Maybe you can resell it, but maybe you can't. You definitely wouldn't give it to little kids. More than likely you're going to put it together, put it on the shelf, and never touch it again. Which I guess works for Japanese people who don't have a lot of free time anyways. A great river rushing into with pristine water, a forest inhabited by a bounty of creatures, a volcano brimming with boiling lava. Those are unexplored lands full of wonders of nature. Therein creatures with their own unique ecology live. Mechanical dinosaurs. Again, it's just like throw two darts. One hits dinosaur, one hits robots, or one hits vehicles. Or why not just have dinosaurs decks? I guess maybe the solo mode is not delving deep into what would have been first series themes for cards. So, yeah, what we're not seeing here is the Yugi, Dark Magician Girl, Dark Magician, just Magician deck in general. We're not seeing Joey Wheeler's like dice decks. We're not seeing the insect deck. We're not seeing the Harpy Ladies deck, like where it was just harpies. We're not seeing the Toon deck where it's just cartoon versions of things. Instead, we're seeing later iterations where the 2 or 3 themes have evolved and then they're merged together, which maybe means that they're just kind of out of ideas, or that they're trying to restrict the game at a certain level so it doesn't have a ridiculous amount of different types of characters, which in all fairness, when you look at the deck builder, I'll show it on the filter later, but there is actually enough types of characters. We don't really need a new type of character. Just adding like a tuner as a character was probably a pretty big deal. Known as Dino Mist, their novelty lies in the steam engines that power their hulking forms. The key to their survival in the great wilderness is their bodies are suited to the harsh environment. This time, let's take a closer look at the shrouded ecology of the Dino Mists. Drifting with the gentle flow of the river is the long-necked Dino Mist Plesios. It derives its energy from water absorbed through the pipes in its tail. Not only is stabilizing energy produced by its hover unit supporting the beast's own weight. The balance between water imbibed and steam release prevents flooding of the river. As a result, land-dwelling companions are protected from potential flood damage. Flying freely through the great skies is the winged Dynamist Patran, or Tran. Turan. I imagine the P is silent. Turbines on both wings collect moisture in the air and generate energy for high-speed flight. The water vapor released is cooled by the atmosphere, turning into rain clouds and hydrating the earth. Among the dynamists, those in the waters and skies are a rarity. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading things at this point. Now let's take a look at the mini dynamists that dwell on land. I didn't click the skip button, did I? Let's just do that again. Sure feels like that was going to go further. Yeah, it showed us 4 characters and then talked about 2. So either this is glitched or they just didn't write the rest of this. Now let's take a look at the mini dynamists that dwell on land. Wow, it just ends there. Seems crazy. Maybe that's supposed to feed into this practice duel, but it's not like it automatically jumps you into the next thing. Probably should just jump you into the next thing and then make the player find the exit button. But then again, I guess the game doesn't really have too many exit buttons. Like, it still does not have an X anywhere to actually close this app, and that's why it starts in windowed mode on PC, is because there's just, like, without being able to hit Alt F4 or Alt Enter and get it out of windowed mode, there's no way to leave it. I guess there's a way if you have multiple monitors like me, because then I can just go and click the stop button on Steam on my second monitor, but most people don't have that luxury. What makes Dynamist decks unique? Most Dynamist monsters have effects that help you in battle, and pendulum effects that protect the following monsters from being their fellow monsters from being destroyed. Unleash the power of cards like Dynamist Rex when you tribute other Dynamist monsters. You can also perform pendulum summons to make sure you have plenty of monsters to tribute. I really need to relearn the pendulum summon concept, because I thought I understood it and then I tried to play it and it still didn't work. I think part of the problem with the idea of pendulum summons is a lot of the really, really good cards say they can only be special summoned by a very specific effect. So you're not going to get Obelisk the Terminator, you're not going to get Ra, you're not going to get Cypher the Sky Dragon through pendulum summons. Activate Dynamist Plesiosis and Dynamist Stegosaur as spell cards. I was never a real huge fan of dinosaurs, so I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of these. So I think I'm supposed to put these as P-scale cards. Pendulum summon the 2 monsters. So when you do that, you click one of these. I also should point out I've changed some duel settings. Can't change them here, but now the prompts will not go back into a centered set position. They'll be over the card. That's just going to save me moving my mouse as much and make things a little bit easier to visually understand. It really should be the default. And card positioning, I wish it was automatic, but there's just no way to actually play this game well if you allow it to automatically place the cards, so it's just gonna have to ask. So yeah, when we activate this, why can we P-summon 2 monsters? Is it always 2 monsters? Activate the effect of Dynamis Spinos and Dynamis Spinos and attack twice. Okay. So we're gonna activate this effect. Second attack. And tribute. And they don't want us to do anything crazy, but which it would have made a lot of sense to not have anything in the extras deck if that was the case. This is kind of a great example, though, of where these tutorials kind of fail because they don't like explain to you all the effects of all of those cards. So now when we're thrown into this duel, we are going to just have to read the cards. You can negate any activated card effect that targets autonomous, then destroy this card. So if this is in the pendulum zone, you can use it as a counter trap spell. And then I don't know if this effect actually activates when it's in the P zone or not. All face-up monsters your opponent controls loses 100 defense and attack for each Dynamist card you control. But clearly, this is an important card. Alright, let's play the Loner deck. It definitely feels weird and wrong that we're not getting a specific structured deck for each one of these solo stories. Because if you're literally just going to give me a couple of cards, maybe only one or possibly even 0 cards for doing a solo story, I can't take that and play with that later. Alright, let's activate this continuous spell and hope that this is right. And then what we want, I imagine, is we want something low or high. We've got a bunch of 3s, so it wouldn't be a terrible thought to see if we can find something higher than a 6. But we may not have anything higher than a 6. Okay. So let's go ahead and select that card. Put this down here for 3. No big there. And then let's see. Put this here for a 6. And that was the card we were looking at. And then P-summon every single card that I guess can be summoned. So what in the world just happened there that reduced the attack? Yeah, see, this is not activated. This one could activate a second attack. This could second attack. So we probably want to just sacrifice this one and this one. We probably don't want to do anything else. So attack there. Activate that. Oops, that was not the effect I wanted to activate. And so that countered this effect. Go ahead and activate that effect. Apparently I can only activate a different effect. And see, once you agree to something, you really have to understand whether you're going to attribute something or not, because that increased the attack but didn't let me attack a second time. Although, in all fairness, I don't think any of this is going to matter. Let's see. This is a 5, so would it be a tribute summon? Or do we want a P-scale summon? I think you put this on the P-scale. Then I think you'd do this. Just to goof around. Just so we can see what's happening. What does this effect do? Select a card from our deck. Let's just pick something big. Countered his own effect there. The draw of cards. Did a lot there. I don't know if I did the right things. Actually, I know I didn't do the right things, because now this guy can potentially like, you can potentially turn things around. Ooh, that was the wrong place to put that. Never put things on the edges going forward. See, this may be where I've goofed around too much and nothing on the field will save me. Let's see. You can put this on the field. Or we can put this down here. And the only other thing I could do is P-scale this. Which I don't want to do that either. So I'm just going to leave this here. Hopefully when this attacks this, I guess activate that effect. Okay. But did that help? Because it says banish any monster destroyed by battle with a Dynamis monster you control, which I would have assumed would have also included this one. 5, 5, and 5, 4. Summon that. Change to attack position. Just hope that this works. All I can do is P-scale or fuse. Special summon something. I don't know what I could specifically special summon. And I don't know if it would actually be any better. Like one tuner and non-tuner. But do we have any tuners? I don't think we do. Alright. Attack this. That didn't do anything. Yeah, absolutely nothing happened there. Alright, so you have to put this P-scale here. Then we have to just... This wouldn't help. Special summon from our extras deck. Interesting. Why can we special summon something from our extra deck instead? But do we have anything of importance? No, the best thing I think I can do is summon this. And then summon this. And I seemingly can't do anything else. So I feel like he's just gonna slowly whittle me down. Yeah. But that Dynamis you control would be destroyed. Activate this effect instead. Sure. Why not? Might as well keep it alive. Okay. Can we do this? 2500 summon tribute this attack here chain. Double the attack of this. Limiter remover saved the day here. I'll go ahead and put a P-scale card here just in case that, well, actually apparently we can P-scale summon something else, so we'll go ahead and put that on the field too. Which means if I'd done limiter remover before then, I could have doubled that attack too. Not necessary, though. So yeah, apparently some things can be P-scale summoned out of your extra stack, which definitely would make it easier to go down that route. We do have enough to unlock this gate, so let's move on to the next duel, which is going to give us a trap card. So let's play this trap card. This. I'm in a very funny position with this game because it's just so early and feels so beta. There's just, like, compared to coming into Shadowverse like 4 or 5 years into that game, or coming into like Magic Arena, which, well, Magic Arena as a software was new, the actual game of Magic was very, very old. So it created a weird position. Wow, cannot P-scale anything at all. Was there something about the spell that allowed me to P-scale? Looking for a Zeta deck card, and I assume what we're looking for is this 11-star thing. Well, this looks ambitious, certainly, as a card to try and summon. But yeah, I'm sorry, to get back to what I was saying. I'm in a very weird position where once I do this solo stuff, it is just such a singular focus on ranked duels. Like, that's the only thing you really can do, so it really should be the only thing you should try to do. And that's not particularly a bad thing, because in other collectible card games, there's been a lot of times where you just wasted a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to do puzzles and side things that I do want to see come about and exist, but eventually in Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's kind of nice just to have normality. Alright, well, is there any special thing about this? No, I don't think so. Yeah. I like these P-scale ideas of adding more use to these side spots, but I think that kind of finishes everything up fairly well, and I just wouldn't really expect and I can just activate this effect now. It's like 2 cards to destroy. That one. Oh. For that one, I guess. Interesting. I think I could have probably just 2 cards on his side of the field. Yeah, adding knee spots only got added because some of these cards, not this one in particular, point in different directions. And it wouldn't have made a lot of sense for them to point directly behind them or to the angled direction without adding these spots. But you could have kind of not added these and then just have cards that point to the left or to the right and point at traps in the back area. But then that potentially would have created a very different experience too. Like, instead of having cards that synchronize with other monsters, you'd have cards that synchronize with other spells. Yeah, which reminds me, there is a desire to find some kind of effect monster that will pull a spell card out of my deck for my Exodia deck that I'm trying to build. And I think it is fair to also point out that the Exodia deck I'm building may not actually work in ranked because it may take such an incredible amount of time to potentially summon Exodia that the game would just concede on my behalf or surrender on my behalf because I take too long. And I'll try and show that off with the game if I can. You pretty much have to kind of cheat and surrender and start over again with an Exodia deck. Alright, and this one will just give us the icons. Still very uncertain as to whether I just won because of skill or beginner's luck or dumb luck. I'd say I am slightly getting better, so I'm not going to completely discount myself, but definitely would be believable if it was mostly beginner's luck. So that got that on the field quickly. No, got that on the field quickly. And we're going in the turn there. See. Bring something to the field. Then destroy it at the end of the turn. Which that probably will synergize somewhat. Oh, nope. That should have been a yes. Actually, maybe that shouldn't have been a yes. So that I can now make it a yes here. Just really protect against... I don't know what I'm really protecting against here because I'm just about to get wrecked anyways. Yeah. And when you're in a situation like this, unless you can get a crazy Heart of the Cards turnaround. You're probably doomed. Yeah, if I was just looking to save some time, I'd surrender now, because you're not really getting a lot of levels. But you probably should also pay attention to this and just like figure out, how did this guy get out of the field so quickly? How did he wreck me so badly? What can I do to avoid that fate happening again? Let's see. Like the only thing I could think is maybe putting that on the field would have helped, but obviously not enough. Well, putting that on the field's not a terrible move, so we should try for that card in the future. So you just get these little bits of experience, and you get a whole bunch more just playing ranked. But I definitely am also trying to just finish doing these solo episodes, get them scheduled on YouTube, and then get back to doing the other thing I was doing, recording pre-recorded videos, particularly Fallout 3 at the moment. Because I haven't played that in quite a while. Right, so I think this is a good card to grab. And then 3 and 3. I definitely want this on the field. So I'm gonna P-scale this one. But would there be any value in P-scaling 3s only? Or should I have even done that at this point on the first turn? Like, maybe there's just an over focus. This one, this trap seems to let you place a pendulum monster in place. So that trap could have potentially placed 2 pendulum monsters, and then I could have had 2 in my hand. Let's see. I could return a card to the hand. I don't see a reason to do that. Particularly as these guys have like 0 attack, so unless he's going to do something more. No reason to just return that to the hand, because I think you just bring it back. Because it doesn't cost anything to put it back on the field. And I question... I mean, well, let's see if you can... Well, we got a tribute card now. Was that the best way to play things, or was that a bad way to play things? I don't know. I know I made a little bit of mistake to begin with. Let's see what we can summon. 1, 2, and 3, all in attack position. That is probably a good move. Let's do this. Let's see. This card can attack the opponent monster again in a row, and if they attack the defense position, inflicting defense thing, shuffle one card from your opponent's hand or the side of the field to the deck. This card gains 100 attack. Let's go ahead and attack in a row. And we'll go ahead and tribute. I guess I should have attacked with that one first. Don't activate the effect. I don't think I want to activate that effect. That was psycho. That was totally crazy what just happened there. But the only thing that would save us here is some kind of special summon. Do we have any water in our graveyard? No. Or do we have water in our graveyard? Yes. Dynamist Rex. Yeah, the only thing I think that might work here is if we did this and this. Put those in the graveyard. But then those cards are under that card. So that doesn't help. Because they don't go to the graveyard, so then I can't activate this effect. It doesn't look like it's gonna matter too much. Unless we can add something. Yeah, I don't know if any of these cards are worthwhile, so... What is interesting about Yu-Gi-Oh! Compared to like Magic the Gathering though is there's a lot of creatures that fly, but there is no key phrase for flying, or which that can be very frustrating, certainly, when playing against people in Magic the Gathering, and then they have just a bunch of creatures that can fly, and then you have to have considerations for that, so your creatures either have to have reach or flying also, which kind of negated all the regular creatures that didn't have flying or reach. Let's try this again. This could just go on forever, by the way. Let's be honest about that. We got a 6, so we need a 3. I'm just gonna stick with this one. P scale here, and then if you do not control in the monster zone and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack on the field, you can special summon this card. Interesting. So we'll P-scale that one, I guess. And we'll end it there. Like, this card is not really that useful. It's kind of useful. And when they do the P-scale, it's almost as if this card is also synergizing with that card, but I don't think that really is the case. Okay. Bishop Effect. Attack the life points directly for 600 is not really doing a lot. 2500. Special summon that on the field. What does this affect? Tribute one other monster and do... The other option would be to see if we can get anything here with enough attack. Water tuner and one non-tuner. I don't think either one of these are tuners. I think if I'm gonna get any tuner cards, they're gonna probably be through special summoning and then special summoning again. Okay. I can't summon this, though. And see, this card only brings that card back once, so you would have had to been better at doing. Wait, nope. And that's a great example of just screwing up completely. Like, you might as well just surrender at this point. Like, I could have attacked directly, but you have to actually drag it up. And that's a place where a warning might be suitable. Like, it's going to be very rare when you can attack life points directly that you aren't going to choose to attack life points directly. You don't have any field clears or anything. This should be good. We do this, and then we do this, and special summon that, and summon that. Special summon. If all monsters you control minimum 1, and none are dynamis, you can special summon this card. Alright. Let's do this. So he played his limiter removal really quickly there. Which is going to put him in a very weak position. Go and activate this. None of these P-scale things, though, do strike me as being like none of them strike me as changing what can be summoned. Interesting. Why did it pick that guy? Like, did I click on 2 things, or did it just randomly pick something? What does this other effect do? Target 1 card and return it to the opponent's hand. Let's see. Why is this one attacking with that? That seems crazy. Well, we'll go ahead and tribute. And we'll go ahead and send this one back to the hand. So we're doing a lot there to keep things alive. Which that was the strategy I was hoping for. Well, let's see if this works. Maybe if I kill this guy, he won't be able to tribute summon the other character. Or I'll have to tribute summon the other character. Like this trap only puts 2 cards in the P-scale spots at the beginning, and then its continuous effect is different. Banishes a spell. So this may irritate him a little bit, but it's far from a game-winning strategy. Like most of these duels, you have to just hit them hard, you have to hit them fast, and you have to get really lucky, because once you're at the 3rd level duel, they just have better cards than you do. So you're gonna just lose a whole bunch. And it's not like you can change anything on these. And your level of frustration is going to severely affect your experience with something like this. Let's give it one more try, and then I guess we give up. And but yeah, trying to play all these in a couple days is probably not the right move. I'll fully admit that. But also, it's kind of what everybody is going to do. Okay, I don't get the... I don't get the fish strategy here. So, I think we'll take that one. I think we want this one. I could special summon this by discarding this, or I can P-scale one of these. I think what we want to do is pendulum summon both of these. Okay. Special summon. Something like this. Did I get this out on the field just barely quick enough? I think maybe yes. Maybe no. We now have one white, one white stingray water character in the graveyard. Let's see. What is the... We need a water type monster. I think that's probably the only thing we really care about, so let's go ahead and put this on the field. Yeah, just give up. Like, seriously, give up. Like, If I'm learning anything, I'm learning time management here. Let's just finish the story. Yeah, and that story didn't continue here. This is the time we direct our gaze to the land. I guess it did continue. Here are a great many dino mists can be observed. Raising a great dust as they trampled earth, the Dynamis Ceratops and the Dynamis Stegosaur. Hardly a competition. Theirs is close to a patrol that protects the territory. Ceratops uses sharp protrusions on their bodies to crush boulders spewed by volcanic eruptions, making land more suitable for their companions. Stegosaur backs are lined with fins in the shapes of swords that monitor the surrounding climate. Fluctuations in temperature and wind velocity that pose potential danger to the land are sensed by their fins. It is unknown in the unknown lands where the Dynamists live. There's one particularly perilous place, namely the volcano belt. This really gives you the feeling that these were created creatures and not naturally occurring creatures. And they feel a lot like that game with Alloy as the main character. What is that one called? I can't remember the name of it, but there was a game that came out a couple of years ago with a female character named Alloy, and the sequel is about to come out, where it's a bunch of robots that look like dinosaurs roaming the land. Don't want to spoil anything for it, but one thing I would say is that game, that is pretty much the main focus of the story, at least is how it's sold. I haven't actually played the game. Whereas this concept in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just one of a dozen, or if not 100 different concepts that you can learn about, but then you immediately forget about it. And I guess that is the problem with collectible card games in general, is that the expansions have to be new and exciting when they come out, but then they also have to become incredibly boring as soon as the next thing comes out. So it's Monster of the Week TV effectively, where they just need to keep your attention for the duration of an expansion, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, probably not a year. And of course, they're not going to put any real effort in telling a story around these characters. Herein, colossal creatures glare at each other, vying to be the boss of all Dinomists. Those are the Dinomist Spinos and Dinomist Rex. Both convert their steam engine's energy into electricity, and the power surpasses that of any other Dinomists. The two are rivals, but when a foreign enemy invades, they band together to protect their territory. That is the role as bosses. And so the Dynamists perform their symbiotic roles as they coexist in this unexplored lands. Again, this is like a great example of them telling your story and telling you about characters, but not giving them really a enemy or antagonist to consider. So they're just fighting each other. And we've unlocked an expansion here, but it would be fairly crazy to open up this secret pack, like, and focus in on these cards. Although maybe not that crazy, because you might, in 10 pull packs, guarantee all of these normal cards, or 3 copies of these normal cards, if you really cared about getting these cards. But I don't particularly care about getting this. And so that unlocked the final one. So we now have this one we could do, but that's not what I'm going to do. Instead, what I'm going to do is to just keep this somewhat logically the same. Is I want to show off the deck here a little bit and show off where I've made some progress here, and I probably want to see if we can just get quick victories with custom decks, because really it should be as easy as that. Just a simplistic one game, one win scenario when you're building your own deck. There really shouldn't be any strategy here that they play that beats a strategy that I can play, unless I've really screwed it up. So I didn't start with the magic card, which definitely makes it less likely that I would succeed, but we'll see. Mystic Tomato lets me summon another Mystic Tomato, lets me summon another Mystic Tomato, then lets me summon Sanjin. All of that then allows for me to reduce the number of cards in my deck versus cards in the graveyard. If there was a card that gained a lot of attack for the number of cards in your graveyard, that would work nicely. Also, if I can get exactly 5 dark creatures into the graveyard, I can summon this, which then would be 1 stall tactic. And that's what you really need with this deck, is you need to buy yourself time so you can have 6 or 7 turns to summon the Forbidden One, which it does have its a whole animation to it, which I would have been extremely disappointed if it hadn't. But take note how this is kind of a great example of how Exodia has been destroyed by power creep, because unless you get that first unless you get a stall tactic within the first couple turns, most of these strategies will have you fail. And so playing this strategy and playing this deck, if you have a draw like this, you might as well just surrender. You maybe can summon this and hope that that can stall for a turn, but unless I get that 1 card draw, that pretty much guarantees a loss. And you kind of need it here. I've been experimenting with this one as a card, but it's not that good. This card's not that good. You can set things, and maybe if there was some way in this strategy that he couldn't summon a bunch of characters, or chose not to summon a bunch of characters. There is a character, I don't remember what it was, but there is a character that if you attack it face down, it will destroy every creature on the field, and that may still have some value as far as a card to play. And then holding arms would let you pick a character to not allow it to attack. Just go and end the turn and let it win again. Just because it gives you a little bit of experience. But this is a kind of great example of what I've been spending a lot of extra time with. On top of which I've still been having network troubles. I did finally, after Monday, I decided to call and contact customer service on my ISP, and so I plan on having them come out. I have them scheduled to come out tomorrow. So, yeah. There's not a lot you can do when your internet is down. For me, like almost everything I do either is uploading or downloading or streaming. So, yeah. With this deck as it currently sits, you can see. Like, maybe I could have summoned that, and then I could have summoned a 3000 attack creature from the deck, which is not that one, but close enough. This one. So yeah, I could have used Cyberstein, lost 5,000. Sorry, I yawned there. Lose 5,000 points, summon that, and then have a 3,000 creature on the field, and maybe that would have won. Yep. Let's see. We'll try this. Of course, attacking that would just kill my guy. So now he just destroyed that with his extra effects. Which that's just like instant game over. So yeah, just showing three examples there. This is exactly what I've been doing, is just banging my head against the wall, hoping that I can get Veil of Darkness in the first turn. If I can get Veil of Darkness in the first turn, then if I can stall long enough, I can get all of the Forbidden One pieces and summon Exodia. This Winged Dragon of Ra is a stall tactic, but it's also a light monster, whereas every other card in the deck is a dark monster to synergize with this Veil of Darkness. So if I have Veil of Darkness on the field and I draw this, I can't continue it. Also, if I'm actually trying to get the Forbidden Ones in my hand, every time I get one of those pieces, I can't continue it. So it might take 5 turns of cycling things around. This kind of synergizes with this because it could bring everything that is in your graveyard back into your deck. But what I really need is an effect monster that is dark, that, let's see, effect monster, dark. And see, here's what I was talking about. Like, you have Spellcaster, Dragon, Zombie, Warrior, Beast, Warrior, Beast, and this is kind of an an exception of merging two types. Winged beast, which I guess is different than beast. Machine, fiend, fairy, insect, dinosaur, reptile, fish, sea serpent, aqua. Seems a little extreme there. Pyro, thunder, rock, plant, psychic, worm, cyber sea, and divine beast. And that's it. So, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, times 4, that's 24 different structured decks that should have been unlocked by default. Just a very weak all spellcaster deck, all dragon deck. Even if these were just recipes and you didn't start with the cards, that would be exactly what I would be looking for. I'm not going to limit this any further. And then, yeah, I'll include forbidden cards. So, what I'm looking for, if this is sorted by attack, because this card will let you summon something with 1500. We're looking for something under 1500. And while we've filtered this down a decent amount, it's probably not quite there. We're looking for one that would pull a spell card out of your hand. I mean, out of your deck. And that may just be too much. And there may just not be anything like that at all. I guess I probably need the word draw. If I can spell draw. Maybe this will limit it down. Draw a phase. Draw 2 cards. This isn't a terrible card, so I'm gonna favorite it. I've been favoriting cards. Which one is that? This one? I don't want to generate cards though. Cannot be summoned special to negate any special spell effects that target face-up target monsters you control. And if you do, destroy that spell card during your draw phase instead of conducting your normal draw phase. You know what? I'm just going to go 1 there. And I am going to generate 1. And see if that does something. But inevitably, this is, we're gonna run into a lot of cards that you'd like to have. Like, you know what? When you control a continuous spell, a trap card can't be destroyed. I'm gonna go ahead and make 3 of those. Hmm. But that's not, I'm not finding a card. Again, this might be a better card to have. Just try. We'll try. I mean, you're gonna end up just wasting all of your crafting points, effectively trying to yeah. Yeah, there's no like there's nothing here that did what I wanted to do, and maybe there just isn't a dark card that does that at all. So maybe it should be deck and spell to limit it down. And certainly this is the problem, is that I probably would get somebody commenting on my videos telling me what card I'm thinking of, if such a thing exists, before I'd be able to go through this list and find the card I'm looking for. If, again, something... Because we're looking for something that would let me pull a spell card out of the deck. And I just don't know if that exists. The other thing I was going to look for is, let's look for jar. Yeah, this one is a forbidden card. So Cyber Jar is forbidden. You can't play it anymore. Okay. So then I put in several cards, and I'm up to 45. Let me get rid of some that save. Like this one, I don't think we need. The ones that say when you have no cards, probably don't need. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That didn't do anything. Okay. Get rid of that. There we go. So, a lot of changes there, but not really the cards I was looking for. let's play one game to kind of show it off. And then I think this will be a fairly short episode because I don't want to try and cover another story mode, even though I could have done that. Level 4 fiend type would be this, not this type. This is a plant type, so there might be some synergy around trying to summon that. Yeah, who didn't see that coming? And I imagine the odds of drawing all 5 cards of Exodia in the first turn are exponentially crazy. It'd be like 1 out of 40 to the power of then 40 to the power of 40 to the power of 40 to the power of 40 would be my guess, if you were gonna actually try and run the numbers. Tribute this card and I guess destroy that card for a stall. So yeah, you definitely are gonna have to manipulate your draws, and you have to be able to have good quality cards in your hands every time on every draw. Otherwise you're doomed. I haven't put any real thought into the extras deck at all. Which that would definitely help synergize to that. These are new. So you want to keep that in the card. Want to keep that. So what you really would want to do is either keep these in the hand or start playing these so that we could then get them into the graveyard to use this. But I don't think that's going to work either. So fingers crossed. The odds are kind of low, but fingers crossed you would have been able to use this as a stall tactic. And he's not summoning 3 characters on the field, so Ring Dragon of Raw Sphere mode isn't going to save me. Alright, well, then we have to start putting these Exodia cards into the graveyard. Second attack this turn just to win. That went a lot better. Let's give it another try. We're still getting our butt handed to me, certainly, but Yeah, I almost want to potentially just pause the video and wait until I'm about to summon Exodia, but the problem with that is just to show off the summoning animation of Exodia. The problem with that, though, is you really won't be able to. I'd have to be right at the point where I could unpause it, because it doesn't like continue it. Your turn starts, you draw the card, then it shows the animation, then you win. There's no interaction between the player. And this is just getting wrecked. So you activate that. And then what you want to do is summon another plant. Mystic Tomato first. And then we could either go with this one or this one. Let's go with this one. And then that'll put an Exodia card in our hand. Okay. And then what this does is allows you to special summon this in a face-up attack position. Let's go ahead and attack this. And like destroy this card. Or try to destroy this card. And so then you attack here, and then that lets you toss one of the Exodia cards, which normally I'd give you 1,000, into the graveyard. But you would need this card to have tossed all of them in the graveyard, and then you could win. So he needs to be able to effectively attack 5 times. And that's a tall order, certainly. A tall order that you're just never really given enough opportunity to play. That's why there really needs to be a solo play mode here, for where it just has a picture of Joey Wheeler, Yugi, just all the characters that you would have seen in Duel Links. Just copy and paste that art and copy and paste their decks and their strategies and their AIs. Maybe that would add another 5 gigabytes of space to the download, but you could certainly prompt someone to say, hey, if you want to play these solo modes, here's another download amount that would be required. It doesn't have to be initial. It probably wouldn't be 5 gigabytes either. It'd probably be much closer to a few hundred megabytes to download a few images and some AI routines. This adds an infestation spell trap card from your deck into your hand, which I don't have. And see, I wouldn't be surprised if that's it. Add is probably a key phrase to try for. Okay, special summon this, returning this face up, summon this, special summon this, sacrificing this, face up. You see, this looks like this won't work, but it should work. I hope this works. Nope. Didn't quite work. But it sort of worked. But it's gonna not work because this is then going to return this to the hand, bringing that down to 1,000. Which, yeah, there definitely are problems trying to use these other spin-offs, second generation Exodia cards. And for every Exodia card you have in your hand, you can draw more cards, which means when that guy dies, might be some issues. But yeah, still not really winning here. Not coming anywhere close. And it's not really worth it to show off the other deck because I haven't changed the structured deck. Like, it's not really worth it to come over here, change decks, come over to this deck and see if this strategy, which sometimes mostly works, I would say, but it's not interesting to show off. We have yet to start with this card. So there might be an argument about getting rid of some of these. Yep. I will say one thing that's happening here more than Shadowverse or anything like that is a real focus on deck building. How many dark cards have add spell in their name? Not that many. Meckler spell trap card. Metallic gear. You can discard one plant monster, add one plant monster from your deck to your hand. That's not a bad idea. So if we can bring in more plant monsters to bring in more mystic tomatoes to just destroy more cards quicker and synergize better. One forbidden quick play spell from your deck. What's a forbidden quick play spell though? Like, we would have to know what the spells are. There definitely are some forbidden cards with forbidden in the name. Yeah, all of these cards are saying a very very much limited. And so unless there's one that specifically said darkness or veil as a descriptor, or let you just bring in a continuous yeah, they may have this just so locked down that there actually isn't an option. Shadal spell a trap from your card. The Shadal strategy. I really need to put some attention into that. Well, this ritual card might work. 2 monsters with different names. If this card is link summon, you can discard 1 card during your end phase. Add 1 continue as a field spell from your graveyard to your hand. And that is definitely not something to ignore as a concept. So we'll favorite that for now. Scroll up here. Polymerization of fusion spells. Excavation here. Alright, we definitely want that. So 1, 2, 3. But they're super rares. Yeah, I just can't afford them. 1, 2, 3. But I definitely would want that later. Certainly. And we may very well this is not a quick play spell card though. Veil of Darkness is just a continuous spell. That sucks. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 change quick play, so that wouldn't be right anyways. Nope. Vampire spells. You almost certainly would have to be a very old card and probably a forbidden card. Yeah. Because everything else here is limiting everything down so much. That clearly they're trying to avoid making the game winnable, or they're trying to have some level of balance. See, adding one spell from your graveyard to your hand might work, so we may have to find a way to put a bunch more in the graveyard, which I was kind of leaning towards that idea anyways, because that would make more sense to put the Exodia cards in the graveyard and pull them out later. Add one spell trap card from your deck to hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text. Ghost Trick cards. Polymerization and Fusion cards. Yeah, my eyes are just like glazing over at this point. It's always just like too much. And I don't know how you fix this other than starting all over again and eliminating some of like the weakest cards. You could probably take one theme or one tier of really like 1-star cards that I bet there is some kind of rating system out there like that already, of just like really worthless, not even worth a penny cards, taking whatever interesting, this is related. Shadal Dragon. But yeah, if you had that list already made, then you could come back and get rid of a bunch of cards, move the ones that are still kind of good in that theme to different themes, and then eliminate one theme. Try to get rid of 2,000 to 3,000 of like 2,000 or 3,000 cards and bring it down to half the size. And see, it may not be a dark card, so then there might be this weird situation where I draw something that's not a dark card, and then that messes with the strategy otherwise. I definitely am seeing the Shadal cards as being potentially really, really good. Might as well just put those in the extras deck since we have room. Banish one spell card from a graveyard, add that card with the same name as the banished spell card to the deck your hand. That would require me to have 2 of these spell cards. Arguably, I probably should have 2 or 3 of these spell cards because I really need them to play to even start with. And so it may very well be a trade-off. Like, ideally you would want only 1 of these, but even if there was like a trap that could bring a spell card to your hand. But yeah, don't have that many more to look at, but tune spell cards. Bandrid cards. You know what I should look for is Veil of Darkness specifically and see if there's something that actually would bring out Veil or Darkness. This almost seems like when this card with a spell counter is destroyed in battle, add 1 normal spell card to your deck. That's not a continuous spell card though. It's almost there. Like, I'm gonna favorite that just in case I learn something new and find out that that actually would work. Let's see. Where were we here? Dark Magician of Chaos is definitely not one. It might very well be a Dark Magician card or something related to that. Add 1 spell to your graveyard. Maybe I'm focusing here on the fact that I haven't looked at the related cards. Yeah. No, this one has like no related cards at all. This one has related cards. Special summon this card from hand. Add 1 spell trap from your deck to specifically list Winged Dragon Raw in its text. Interesting. These Exodia cards are related to these Exodia cards. These Exodia cards are related to this. Hmm. Well, this is a continuous turn. Well, this isn't a terrible card, so we should try that. It definitely might be some more related cards. If you have all the cards in your hand, you can in your graveyard, you can summon this. It gains 500 attack, but by having everything in the ground. Do we have any related cards to this? Probably don't need that. Do we have any related cards to this? No. Okay. Well, how do we get out of the related to get back to where we were? You have to click up. Okay. So let's just type in Veil and get rid of everything. Veil. We have Veil of Darkness. Well, any of these creatures do anything as far as bringing in a card with Veil in the name. No. So yeah, none of that is it. Let's try Darkness first. That way we know that there isn't something that would specifically say you could summon something with dark in the name but not Darkness. And a standard normal card obviously is not going to have anything in it of use. So we looked at this. Let's go ahead and filter down to affect monsters just to save ourselves some time. That doesn't get your darkness card. That doesn't get your darkness card. That doesn't get your darkness card. Well, it does get you very specific darkness card. And this may very well be just an example of me trying to play a card that's not like the card to play, and there may very well just be a better strategy here. Normally I wouldn't be making recordings showing off should look into words with what Layer of Darkness looks like. What is Layer of Darkness? It's an interesting card, but maybe not what we're looking for. Okay. Summon plant is the last thing to look for. And effectively we would want a dark and effect monster there. And we'd want to see, are there some other dark monsters? When your life points are higher than your opponents, you're taking no battle damage from attacks involving plant monsters. You only use once per turn. Damn. Okay, we'll do that and generate one. And we'll do that. And we'll generate one. Special summon that. Yeah, of course I'm totally wasting like a ton of just like a ton of crafting points chasing after a strategy that's kind of doomed to fail. That's probably not what I want to play. Just wasting all the crafting points, which you won't be getting extra crafting points. Like, until you get extra cards. And you won't be getting extra cards until you buy a bunch more cards, and you won't be able to buy a bunch more cards unless you just get a lot of grinding done on the daily quest to get gems, or you put a bunch of money into it and go pay to win. Most of these I think are either a synergy that I don't quite understand, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of 2 of these. Get rid of 1 of those. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So we need to get rid of 2 more characters. Probably want 1 more of those. A lot of these are going for like special summons and just trying not to play them. Get rid of that and that. And that. So that's a big change and a big waste of time, I'm sure. It feels like. One of the problems here certainly is, since this is effectively the 4th digital iteration of a video game a collectible card game I've played, it would be fairly silly for me to actually believe that I'm going to, like, this will be the one that I stick with and start diving deep into the strategy of this game and deck building strategy in general. You see, I may win here, but it may have nothing to do with the deck I built. It may have way more to do with just the fact that I got really lucky on this first turn. Alright, so now when we activate this, we can special summon several things. Let's see. The interface of this case was normal. Special summon, you can discard 1 plant monster, add 1 level 4 lower plant monster. So I still think you are pretty much still summoning the Mystic Tomato, but there's potentially new safety in doing that. Okay. Go ahead and set that. And go ahead and set that. If I draw 1 more Exodia thing and then use this to get 1 more Exodia thing, I'm much closer than it would seem. I could use this to put an Exodia on the field. Let's see. What would be the right one to put on the field, though? Probably just this. But then, of course, the question comes back to, can I win? And I think the answer is maybe, at best. Like, if he destroys this and it gives me an Exodia, and then that somehow ends the turn completely, which I don't see how that would happen. Like, he would have to just kind of like merge at least 3 of these guys Because we have 4 of the Exodia pieces. So unless this just wasn't a final blow, I could have probably won there. And I really, really would like to end on a victory, so I'm going to try again. Some of these episodes go really long, but yeah. Had I been given another turn, there would have been a very high chance of success there. And there is a very high chance of success here. Okay. So So what I'm gonna do here is put this in the graveyard. Yeah. Yeah, you give him one chance and that's all it takes. Alright. Well, summon this. And then special summon this here. Interesting, it didn't destroy that. Go ahead and send that, I guess, back to the hand. See what we can special summon instead. That with that. So maybe if this buys me a couple turns. Seems like it might. Do I have to tribute something? No. Send it to the graveyard. So we have the last 2 pieces are in the graveyard. What we want to do now, potentially, is see if activating this effect lets me put this in the graveyard, which would then activate the effect in there. Seemingly not, so that was a mistake. And stupidly, we may just win here and end this episode on a victory, and it may have nothing to do with summoning Exodia. I could continue to use this to just get rid of cards from my deck, but I don't want to get rid of those cards from my deck. I may have no choice. Yep. Alright, we got a little bit more time. I'm gonna try and end this at 2 hours and 45 minutes. Try again. I could have at one point there totally sent a card back, and that may have saved me. Okay. Send one plant graveyard from your hand or face up from the field to the graveyard. When your opponent activates a spell card, you could discard this to resolve. See, theoretically, this card is not supposed to be destroyed by battle. But it seems like it gets destroyed by battle fairly easily anyways. Or destroyed by effects. So I can't even... During the phase, change the face up defense position to face up attack. Interesting. Here's your ultimate stall. We can put this on the field, but I wouldn't want to attack at the moment. We can go ahead and set this. Oh, I remember why this is a decent card, is because it reduces the attack of the enemy to 0. Let's see. This one doesn't seem like it's doing much. I could put this in the field and then shuffle this back into the hand. So people don't want to attack it because it will just reduce its attack to 0. Which potentially means I've just lost. Yep. Yeah, and I really am just showing a small fraction of what I'm doing off screen. Normally, I don't like to play off screen in any game. I like to really highlight the level of frustration. Finally, I like to highlight the level of frustration and irritation that you're going to run into when playing a game. Alright. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. No card effects. You can send one face up Continue a spell trap to the graveyard, draw a card. Well, that saves me for a turn or two. We don't want to activate this effect. And we will want to just put this in defense mode. So we're gonna just let it hit us. Oh, and he just destroyed my spell card. Special summon. Face up defense position. Life points being higher than the opponent's seems like it's unlikely to ever happen. Ritual fusion or synchro monster, or any of these, any of that? Nope. And that, and that. Let's see. Activate that ability. Special summon this tuner card. Can't do anything more. Activate this effect. Destroy that. But then you have to really evaluate what is here that could make you win. I don't think there's much here. Unless I got raw in the next draw. Nope, you don't even have that. It's like even playing your best, it's not good enough unless you can synergize 5 different things. So I really have no idea if I just made my deck better or worse. And you really won't know until you have like 20-25 games under your belt. You can target one field, send one forbidden monster to the deck. Cannot target plant monsters. When this card's normal summon, special summon a plant monster from your hand. I guess this is your best bet. Level 4 or lower plant monster. There was no plant monster in his hand. This isn't a plant monster, it's a fiend. I thought it was a plant. Alright, so you activate this. You use the effect now. You return this guy to the hand. You start throwing the weakest of the forbidden ones limbs into the graveyard. This might work if I can survive even 2 turns. And that'll let us survive a couple turns. You summon this on this side as a 0/0. And that means you can't do anything else. Let's see. Well, I give up. I totally give up. Like, I will definitely try to play some more off screen to get these done, but clearly it's going to be very, very difficult. And like this deck I haven't even done with the loner deck, and I'm probably going to do that off screen. This deck I've not even had that. Like, I did do it with the loner deck. What was the other one that hasn't been completed? One of these here, this one. We didn't even have the resources until now to unlock. So we will do that in the next recording. We'll unlock this gate and do the regular duels so we can show them off at least once, but yeah. Suffice it to say, there's 2 more episodes, and they taking a lot of time, a lot of effort. The missions have pretty much dried up. I should be also playing some ranked, which again probably will just be with a pre-built structured deck that sometimes wins. But yeah, you're gonna very slowly increase your ranked in Duelist and slowly summon more monsters and special summon monsters and activate generic effects that are gonna give you not even really big rewards for all the things you're doing. Ideally, we would have seen a lot more of these secrets pop up as a way of countering the fact that we're gonna run out of sources of gems as a free-to-play player very quickly. But yeah, I'm not seeing that. So I could easily see myself at this point playing this game for a month and then finding out that you're not getting any kind of compensation when they go into maintenance mode, or any kind of assistant boost in gems, or you're not getting new quests, and like the dual pass is only helping me so far. So the entire experience may just dry up to the point where I don't have even one deck that I feel really good about, which at the moment I've put a lot of effort into making an Exodia deck that still doesn't really work, let alone the idea of getting more cards to build more decks. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of a perfect example of why collectible card games, digital card games, need to hand you just a ton of cards when you start new. And Hearthstone, I believe, kind of does that for you nowadays, is that they created a whole system where all the old cards that you can't play in ranked mode anyways because they've been phased out are effectively just given to you for free, or it feels very close to that at least. There's no equivalent of that in Shadowverse or Magic the Gathering or any other collectible card game I've seen, and it really makes it appealing to potentially start Hearthstone or go back and play Hearthstone again. That being said, Hearthstone and Activision Blizzard in general have had lots of problems, and even though they've started to be acquired by Microsoft, I'm not sure those problems have been addressed or fixed yet. Plus, I don't really feel like it's making progress to go back and play Hearthstone after many years of not playing it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.